Recap the game Saturday from an offensive standpoint. It looked like a lot of big plays.
Yeah,
consistent offense.
we did. You know, we try to create big plays and we try to create explosive plays. You know, we were able to do that. And, you know, obviously that helps when you got guys like Michael Harris and Quez Watkins and Tim Jones. You know, I thought those three guys really changed the game for us. You know, some things I thought we struggled with were third downs. Really, the last couple of weeks we struggled on third down. We got to do a better job there. We got to get that going again. You know, early on we were pretty good on third downs, and like I said, the last couple of weeks we struggled. So, put a little emphasis on that this week, and you know, just I'd like to see us with those two turnovers. You know, punch at least one of them in, and you know, if you punch the first one in, you're probably not in the situation again. You know, we got to take advantage when the defense gives us those turnovers, and you know, on a short field, we got to be able to score right there. So at least get points, and you know, that was disappointing. But overall, was pleased. Thought the offensive line played one of their better games. You know, it came out, we rushed for over 200 yards. That's one of our goals each week, is to be able to rush for 200 yards, and we were able to hit that. And you know, for the most part too, they kept Jack upright, and you know, we made enough plays to go down there and win the game.
Talk about having Michael Harris back at full strength now. That's got to be a big plus.
Yeah, that's a big plus. You know, anytime you get a guy like Michael, he just brings so much to the table. You know, not just in the running game, but in the passing game, in the locker room. I mean, he's a team guy. He's just one of the guys that you know, you hate that you only got a few more games with him. You know, he's not just because the player he is, but the person that he is. And when you got guys like that in your locker room, they're fun to coach.
Can you talk about the offensive line? You even talked about, you know, the running game, how well they did in the game.
You know, I was proud of them. You know, I thought they came out, and you know, one thing we talk about is, like I said, 200 yards is one of our goals every game, and you've got to be able to do that on the road to win in the conference. You know, there are no gimmies, and you know, they came out. We made a couple adjustments early on in the run game. You know, after the first couple series, and I thought the guys handled it really well. And like I said, we went out, we executed, and you know, we hit some. You know, not just the big explosives that Michael had, but we also had some other 10, 20 yard gains, you know, and then KP's came in really the last 3 weeks. He's kind of been a closer for us, and he's able to hit big runs in the fourth quarter, and that's been good for us. So we got to continue that if we want to have success.
What do you see from Western Kentucky?
I see a very disciplined defense, you know, and you can see that on film. You know, they remind me a lot of UAB. Kind of their structure, what they're doing, the discipline that they play with. They've got defensive end number 10. He's tough to block, tough to handle. Their linebackers run really well, and you know, they're playing good in the secondary. So, you know, Coach Heldon's a great football coach, and he's got that team playing hard right now.
Buster, you talked when y'all made the move to put DeMichael at running back. Y'all talked that before the season you had plans for him to be a package. Could you tell us, if he hadn't been a running back, what did you think you would see from DeMichael Harris this year? Like, where did you see him fitting into this offense?
Well, that was the hard part the whole time, because of, you know, how he's a good receiver. I mean, he starts at a lot of places at receiver, and you know, that was the part that you kind of juggle on all the time. Is we knew he had to be on the field because he was one of the 4 or 5 most explosive guys we had on our team. So, you know, I think you probably would have saw a little bit more 10 personnel out of us if he stayed at receiver, and it would have been him and Tim in both the slots. And that was kind of the plan, you know, if he stayed out there. But we also know I believe you got to be able to play with a tight end and do things in the run game. So, you know, that was kind of the constant battle that we were going back and forth with. How are we going to make this work? And so that was the reason for having packages for him in the backfield, you know, so to make sure he was going to be on the field 20 to 25 snaps a game. And then, you know, now once we made the move, he's on the field, you know, 30 to 35 snaps a game. And then you don't really have to, you know, make an effort to make sure that he's touching the ball, because now with him being in the backfield, he's going to get the touches that he needs to have a chance to change the game.
Quez, I just asked Jay this question last night doing some research for the broadcast. He's got 921 yards, which is the most he's ever had in his career, but he's done it on 33 fewer receptions to this point in a season. Can you explain how good Quez is, and maybe what makes Quez so good?
I think, you know, I wasn't here before, so I don't know exactly how he was used. You know, I think one thing is we want to push the ball to him down the field as much as we can to create the explosive plays. You know, the other night, you know, we had a couple calls, you know, to try to get it to him downfield. They played good defense and you know, stuff like that. But he's able to take a 5-step glance route to the house, and I think that's what, you know, separates him from a lot of guys. And, you know, he catches that ball. Those guys have angles on him, and he splits the safeties. You know, which is, you know, we can't coach that. You know, that's God-given ability. So, you know, that's what separates him is that burst. You know, that initial burst once he gets the ball that you know, creates the yards after catch. And you know, like I said, he's a special player, and we're glad he's on our team.
Have you seen, I asked Jay this, have you seen crazy coverages trying to figure out how to maybe stop him to this point? Like, I mean, wacky double teams or maybe
Right.
zone shifting his side?
You saw a little bit the other night, you know, maybe clouding his side, but, you know, and I've said this, I think I may have said it last week, you've got Tim Jones, all right, and up until this point, you had Jalen Adams also, and, you know, Neil McLaurin. It's hard to double team. You know, it is what, you know, Tim Jones is as good as anybody in the country that, you know, gets overlooked for whatever reason. He's another one that's very explosive and had a great game the other day. And, you know, he's in the slot. So if you're playing coverage over the top of him, then, you know, that leaves Tim, you know, either on a linebacker or nickel or something. And, you know, it's a matchup that a lot of times we feel like it's in our favor.
I saw you put a tweet out, your high school coach went into the Georgia
Yeah.
Football Hall of Fame. Can you tell us what he meant to you?
Well, he was, number one, he came into a place that hadn't won a lot of games, and, you know, and we were, he built a program, and he did it with, you know, a bunch of, you know, blue-collar, hard-working kids, and, you know, he just had a mindset of doing things the right way, and, you know, he started in the weight room, and, you know, he started this when we were in the 7th grade, and I can just remember, you know, working out as a 7th grader and, you know, implemented the offense to the 7th and 8th grade, you know, kids, and it carried over into high school. And, you know, but his passion for kids and his passion for the program, and like I said, you know, and his ability to hire coaches. I mean, I tell people this all the time. I was the luckiest guy alive to be around the high school coaches that I was around. I mean, I still to this day, they're some of the best coaches I've ever been around. Not only the head high school coach, but my offensive coordinator, you know, Robert Hill. He was my, he still is the guy that I call on whenever I need some advice and stuff like that. But those are the guys that we looked up to, and, you know, he took a place that was, like I said, hadn't won many games, and I think it was 13 or 14 straight quarterfinal appearances. We won the first state championship ever in Gwinnett County, and, you know, that wasn't because he had a bunch of athletes running around there. That was because he had a vision and a plan and built a program, and got a bunch of kids believing in him and building, you know. So those are the things that I remember, and, you know, it's funny because, you know, we were run-oriented offense back then, and, you know, the motto was 3-3-4. We got to get 3 yards. We got 3 yards, and on third down we got to get 4 yards. Then I go to college and we throw the ball, you know. But I still say we won because we were able to run the ball, and it's something that's always carried over to me. And Coach Flo means a lot to me. It means a lot to my family, and, you know, just he was one of the best.
That's how you pronounce it, is Flo?
Flo. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else? Coach, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, Coach. Have a good one.